Please introduce yourself and then tell us some of your favorite stories about meeting Nataraja Guru and times with him.
My name is Gopi. I retired as the chief engineer of Indian Telephone Industries, Bangalore in 1992, January. I come from Kerala, Trichy, Perimotura village. And our family was having very great, close contact with Narayana Guru. My father's elder brother was born, and children born earlier, 2 or 3 children born earlier to him, did not survive. So when this boy was born, my grandparents, who were great devotees of Narayana Guru, took this child and put at his feet. And then Guru asked, Then my grandfather said, all the children before him died, so you should name him. So Guru asked, if I name him, would he not die? He says, no. Then he named him Mrityunjayan, Mrityunjayan, Mrityunjayan. That is, a person was vanquished death. And he lived for about 75 years. So from the very childhood, I have been hearing Narayana Guru's name.
Okay, so actually, if you know stories about Narayana Guru, of course we would love to hear those also. So.
But I think that will be running into hours and hours.
Well, we'll only start. We'll take your best stories and then whatever you'd like to tell us. So this is for everyone to remember.
Yeah.
The
Gurukula. Narayana Guru used to come and stay in our ancestral house in Kerala. So we were worshipping stones, one for Vishnu Maya, another for Karinduti, another one for Veerabhadran. And
so you had the stones there.
Lot of stones were. And then Narayana Guru came. There was one of Bhagavati also. And Narayana Guru came there and got these small stones of different deities. What they called as Durdevadas. They were not considered to be a very saintly type of Devada, but Durdevada. And put it into a gunny bag and asked Narasimha Swami, one of his disciples, to take it to Alvi and put it in the river. So somebody asked, why there is one stone there? That is Amma, that is mother. She is good for the family. But what had happened was, after some time, the person who was holding that property, temple and house, he wanted to sell it, even though there was another relative of ours who was prepared to buy it. He did not sell it to him. He sold it to one Christian gentleman. And that man occupied the whole place. And this temple, not idol, it is a round one like. I can show you the photograph of that one later.
Okay.
And then it was kept in the upstairs of another house for many years. Then the problems of all families started. My family, Tandasheri, if you are taking the Tandasheri family name alone, perhaps it has got more members in the whole of Kerala. Yeah. And this Bhagavati's idol or symbol was in the upstairs of that house for many years. Then every family used to have some misfortune or other. Somebody getting mostly madness. Yeah. And the husbands dying and unnatural deaths and things like that. Then not recently, it's a few years back, all our relatives joined together and then made a temple. Afterwards, all these problems are solved. I mean,
amazing. So why do you think Narayana Guru had the stones taken to the river?
Because he thought that all these bad, evil spirits should not be there.
So he felt there were bad energy.
Yes.
And so he
But one
returned it
thing,
to the river.
in this new temple, you have got some of them, and the reason being, it appears after that many years, nobody was worshipping Bhagavati or anybody else. There were some families where they used to worship. And it appears these stones and all get energy. And it is not possible to remove it. So that is better to put it in this temple.
I see.
And everybody agreed to that. And my grandparents have seen Guru. My grandfather's mother, that is my father's father's mother, once planted a plantain tree. And then in her mind she thought, when this bunch of bananas, like the Malabar banana, you have seen it?
Yes, sure.
We will give it to, when Guru comes, I will give it to him. It had the banana, it was ripened, and we never knew, she never knew where Narayana Guru is at. That time there was no TV or newspaper or anything like that which used to say, about his movements and like that. When it was fully ripened, she came to know that Narayana Guru has come to our ancestral house. So what she did was, early morning she bathed the cow, bathed herself, and milk, boiled the milk and kept it separately. Took this banana, put it in the cinders, and then cooked it, and then kept it. But she did not go to Sree Narayana Guru because my grandfather's elder brother, who was about 32, he had died in an accident, fireworks accident. In our temple where Narayana Guru had, not our ancestral temple, but Somasagara Kshetra, that is, Narayana Guru has installed Shivajinga. That temple, in a fireworks, he was very enthusiastic about this fireworks, and he was only 32. So grandfather's mother did not go there, but my grandfather went. Then, grandmother somehow had a feeling that Narayana Guru will come home. She cleaned up the whole place. Outside, there was a bench, big bench, and she kept a silk cloth over that. And she was remaining in the house. My grandfather went to see him, and he got up from there. So grandfather thought that he is wanting to go out because for nature scholars. So he took a kindi, kindi that you must have seen a vessel with a spout like this.
Yes.
Kerala also seems. So he took that vessel of water. Then everybody, otherwise Narayana Guru goes means a lot of people will be going behind him.
Right.
Once they knew that it is only for this purpose, then he walked to our house, which is about a kilometer or more. There is no road. Some people will have to go via the back of somebody's house, a small opening in the fence, and like that. Just as though he has walked for many years through that road. He just was walking, and then my grandfather also walked behind him. Then, under a coconut tree, he sat down. My grandfather was staying outside. Afterwards, ablutions and all, he went to my house. And at that time, he was staying. And he was lying down. That's it.
On the bench.
Yeah, my grandfather ran up to tell grandmother that Guru has come. They used to say, not Guru, Tripalanga. Tripalanga means the blessed feet. Then grandmother gave one glass of milk plus another vessel of this plantain. He came and the door was closed. Not fully closed, just when he was taking it out, the door opened and Guru was standing in front of him. He was lying down outside, he came and just lying down. Grandfather did not know what to do. He just put it down. He sat down there, ate it. Then called my grandmother's grandmother, and consoled her. And he went away. And my grandfather's younger sister was a child at that time. Night, she went and, of course, silk and all was removed. She was lying down. The children got away of lying down, face down, you see.
I see.
She was telling me, she told me that was having a perfume. As though you will be fighting from a temple, she said. When there will be flowers and agarbattis and things like that. That sound was there. And she was also a very great disciple of Narayana Guru.
So it seems that the Guru must have read her mind or known her thoughts. Everyone's really.
And my grandmother was the niece of one T.K. Kunyayappan master, Tandashiri Kunyayappan master. Kunyayappan master was, at that time, he had studied up to SSLC. I think he passed on. And then he was given a job he did not want to, at that time for the people coming from aristocratic families and things like that. When they have got so much of, parental property and things like that, they never used to go for any work. Of course, he went for a few months or that's all. But he was called Kunyayappan master. Master, of course, we call with respect also. Sure. Yeah. And then he had his niece, his sister's daughter. Sister died. Sister's daughter was living. A small child. And then he wanted to give some property share to my grandmother. My grandmother is the aunt of my wife. Then my Guru was at that time there. He came, Narayana Guru came as a mediator for our family partition. So you can imagine how much he loved the people.
Yes.
So all that, when That man was asked, that is my grandmother's another uncle, his son, did not agree. And then Narayana Guru said, when we will be having the harvesting of rice, paddy, people will be coming and you give them. Some people will be given 1 bushel of rice, some people 2 bushels, some little bag of rice and like that, as a gift. And it is good. Yet it did not agree. Then Narayana Guru said, when he found that there was no point in advising, a person who has taken castor oil, and the last drop of castor oil goes out of his system, he will have loose motions. And then that person was at that time very rich. By strange circumstances. He got this money, he got into a chit fund business, that is, many people will be joining together and putting money, and then one man will take it, 1 month, next man will take it. That is called chit fund. And then the Second World War came, coconut prices came down. He was not able to put back to the bank. And by the time he was in the fag end of his life, he was a poorer man. Yeah.
So he had loose motions with his wealth.
And Narayana Guru, my uncle, Narayana Guru, my grandmother's uncle, who wanted to help her, he went to a place called Muthakum, hearing that Narayana Guru has come, and requested him that we would request you to make us a temple. Rich enough to have money. Then Narayana Guru said, you should have a place for making this temple, which is free from the burying of human beings for at least 60 years. But in our place, all are buried either in our own compounds and like that. There is no place where you can get, where it is free from burying or burning for 60 years. Then he came and then bought the land of a Christian. Christian, they don't bury in their compounds. They bury only in the church. And then gifted it to Guru. Then a temple was made, and my grandfather suggested a carpenter for constructing this house. And in Kerala, you see that 8, it is not a square meter, it will be 8 sides. And the top is not concreted. It is to have the rafters and woodwork. This man did not know, because he had not done it earlier. But he was considered to be an excellent carpenter for constructing other houses, but not this 8, because each rafter had to go and there should not be a gap between the rafters and the reapers. One morning he came to my grandfather and said, we can start construction. Have you learned it? No, yesterday night, Narayana Guru came in my dream and taught me this. And immediately I woke up and then do it. And we can do that. And we did it. Yes. Narayana Guru went to another, that is my another relative's house in Malabar, that is Valak part. Then when Narayana Guru was sitting, one man brought his son who was having an attack of bad some spirit. So later he found that, later people found that Narayana Guru was not in that house. He went into a place. They have got a, every house at that time used to have a lot of trees and one pond and snake worship. Vashakad they used to call it. Poison forest. So people went to such a place, he was not there. Then somebody told he is in a temple nearby. So when he went to the temple, these people went to see him in the temple. Guru asked his boy, young man, Enda poikude, can you not go? He said, yes, then go. Immediately, this man fell down, struggled, and the word spirit and went out. Yeah. After some time, he got it again. Then he was taken to Alwell, where Narayana Guru was resting. And Guru said, I asked you to go. You did not go. And he said, I went. He said, then why are you? You did not go. Prapadangal did not ask me to not to come back. You asked me to go, I went. But you never told me that I should not come back. So I came back. Okay, ini venda. You be here. That is in Alwell. Alwell is a place where all Hindus used to carry the dead people's ashes and bones and things like that. And thousands of people will be doing the rites, of every year in honor of that man. They will be doing some puja and like it is done in front of that highway temple. Like that, there are so many stories.
That's really wonderful to hear. But why don't we jump ahead to some of your early memories of Nataraja Guru?
Natraja Guru, I met Nataraja Guru in 1955, March 13, in town hall, Bangalore town. That was the centenary celebration of Narayana Guru.
That's right.
And Nataraja Guru was associated, having Swami Mangalananda, Swami John Spiers. At that time, Swami Mangalananda was a sannyasi. Whereas Nataraja Guru did not have any sannyasi's robe. And if I remember correct, Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati was wearing a jubba and dhoti. And Swami John Spiers was having a shirt and full shirt and dhoti. The same platform I saw 4 people.
Wow.
Yeah. And Guru asked me, John Spiers Swami introduced me. Only very few people were there. In Kerala, I felt so sad. In Kerala, if there is an occasion like Narayana Guru's birthday celebration or Samadhi celebration, there are hundreds of people. Here, the big town, there are only less than or around 50 people. He asked me, where am I from? And I told that I am from Perinotter, Tandasheri. Then he asked me, Tandasheri, there is one poet, Tandasheri Haridas. Are you related with him? I said, yes, he is one of my uncles. He is one of the best poetry writers in India, English poetry writers. And then we did an all-day program. And Mr. Tandasheri Haridas' brother, Tandasheri Siddhartha, he was working in industrial aircraft. It is he who suggested to my grandmother that I should be sent for diploma in engineering, mechanical engineering. He was the person who was responsible for my coming to Bangalore because he was here. And he was the person who was responsible for getting an engineer to construct a house in a cheap house construction technique in Kerala. That person was the grandson of Tandasheri Kunyaku Master, my grandmother's uncle. And very close. And when Swami Mangalananda chanted after the closure of the meeting, അൻപാർന്നവരുണ്ടോ പരവിജ്ഞാനികളുണ്ടോ വമ്പാക വെടിഞ്ഞുള്ളവരുണ്ടോ ഇതുപോലെ മുമ്പായി നിനച്ചൊക്കയിലും ഞങ്ങൾ ഭജിപ്പു നിൻ പാവനപാദം ഗുരു നാരായണമൂർത്തി. I cried. I found that my uncle also was crying. Then I asked him, why is it that only both of us were crying? And many people were there and they did not have it. Then he said, in our system, we have got this love, regard, respect and bhakti towards Narayana Guru. Whereas those people do not have it, they just come, go.
That's true. How old were you then? About 20 or so?
I'll tell you. 1953, 55 means I was 21 years old. Okay. From that time onwards, I've been associated with Narayana Guru.
Yeah. So did you speak to Nataraja Guru at that time?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. And every time Nataraja Guru used to come to Bangalore, he used to ask Guru John Spiers to write to me, inform me. At that time, writing was the only way. There was no telephone or anything like that.
Right.
And he used to. One day when I went to see Natraja Guru, Natraja Guru asked me, how did you know that I had come? Said, Swami John Spiers had written to me. What did he write? Then I said that you have come. That's all what he has written. Then I knew. Yes, he has written that you wanted to see me. And then he had a wonderful smile. The smile something like a blossoming of a lotus.
Yes. Yeah.
When I used to touch his feet, or when I think about it, I cry.
It's very wonderful.
And when I have problems, I used to narrate my problems to the Guru. Then when my problem is solved also, I go to him and then I cry. Then Guru used to say, oh Gopi, when he's happy also he cries. Once he's sad also he cries.
You have a tender heart.
But I can be a fighter. You know.
I'm sure.
Yes. Because
it's a very good quality to be able to feel that.
Yeah. So officially and things like that. You see, sometimes some decisions are to be taken which I feel I am right. I had occasion to fight with chairman of ITA. Chairman of ITA. So that fighting spirit is there. Reacting. All these things are.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Whereas when somebody is suffering, I cannot stand that. My grandmother, maybe I would have inherited from her. Not maybe, ours is a family of farmers. My grandfather was a good farmer. And then we will have rice. Even in the Second World War time, we never used to starve because rice is there. Then, my grandmother will be cooking kanji. You know kanji?
Oh yes.
Morning. and then she will be serving to the grandchildren, children, daughters-in-law, and servants. And then ultimately when she will be sitting to take kanji, some man, female remember, way back from a shanty or a market. So she will ask, did you take food? Then he will say, no. Immediately she takes it and goes. Maybe my genes and
well, many people can fight, but not so many, especially men, can cry, and it's a very, very good quality.
my grandmother's name was Girija Kuti. Girija Kuti. We put a Kuti in Kerala.
Yeah.
My daughter's name, I wanted her to be named as Girija, my grandmother's name. When she was named, she was put as Girija Kuti. But in the official records and all, it is only Girija.
Right. You can add the kuti. Something. Oh.
Nataraja Guru has taken her on the lap when we went to Gurukula. I mean, these are all the common sense. Can this have any parallel? I mean, it may not be the accrued things of one generation, for many generations. I lose my temper. I become sometimes indifferent. People may not, but somehow Guru, I know impossible thing is happening. Guru will remove it. When I came to Bangalore, you must have seen the photographs in Guru's autobiography.
Yes.
Many are taken by me. Guru's voice recording, again. I got all the records of Guru.
Oh, you're the one. Okay.
And I was thinking, at that time, Somanatli Gurukula Guru was not here. I used to go to Swami John Spiers. For that one, you have to go to city market. From there, some long distance buses will be going. They will never allow you to get into that one. These private buses, not regular buses. Then ultimately, you have to fight with them and then go there.
Yes.
I used to think, it would be very nice to have a scooter so that I could go. I could go more frequently. But I had no money. Then I got a loan from ITA, my company. I bought a scooter. So I used to go there. Then, I had loans from not very much, maybe 25 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, like that. But salary also was low.
Yeah.
When I am borrowing, I pay. When I get my salary, I pay it. So there was no difficulty of getting a loan. There is no difficulty of getting a loan. And then I told the Guru when she came, Guru, I am having some loans. I am thinking, why not I sell the scooter, clear ITA loan, and with that rest of the money I can pay off all my small loans. You know what he told? It is something like making a big pit. A big pit. Instead of small pits.
One big pit.
Yeah. What you should do is, you should take the money, put a little in a bank. Once it is full, you can pay somebody, pay. Right. Don't make a big pit. Instead of having smaller pits. What happened was, within another 2 months, I got a allocation from the government of India for a scooter. I sold this scooter, bought that new scooter. For that one, I gave some money, paid, and cleared everything. Perfect.
No forget. Within 2 months. Within 2 months.
Yeah. And then a camera I wanted to take Guru's photographs. I used to borrow cameras and then take Guru's photographs. I started taking photographs when I was about 14. And then on and off I used to have small box cameras and things like that. Then I wanted to have a camera. I went to Swami John Spiers' ashram. While I was coming, he took a camera, Yashica 127 LM, Yashica 44 LM, that is smaller frame, square frame, not 200 quarter by 200 quarter. This is 1.78. And he asked me, you know about cameras and all. This was given to me as a gift by somebody, a friend of mine bought it. But I don't know anything about it and I don't have any use also. Can you find out somebody who can buy it? Then I said, I can buy it. But only thing is that I will not be able to pay the complete amount immediately. In installments I can. So he fixed a price, 450 rupees, which I paid in installments. And I took many good pictures with that camera.
Okay.
Every time I used to go there, I used to take. The same way, when I got a camera, I was thinking about a tape recorder. If I had a tape recorder, it would be very nice to take Guru's voice. Again, Narayana Guru, that is on Swami John Spiers' ashram, Kagalipura. I went there one day. He said that one hippie has brought a tape recorder, that is a cassette recorder, which I still have it here. And it is still working. Only thing is that mic went off and I went and bought a mic, which is not as efficient as the old mic. They said, kindly find out whether anybody will buy it. He wants some money. At that time he was not there. There was no cassette with him to check up whether it is working all right. So hippie came and he wrote me that hippie is here. You can come and talk to him about this cassette recorder. Cassette recorders have been introduced in European world. Because I have read about it that this cassette has been invented by Philips company. They are the people who marketed in the first time. So I went there. I asked him, how much do you want? He said, I paid $100. So I should be getting $50. But at that time, black market, he was 7 or 8 rupees only is the price.
For $1, yeah.
He wanted to, was the value of $1.
Yes.
He wanted 12. Then I said, I cannot give. 7.75. I'll give you 8. How much is that? And I said, 25 naya paisa extra. He said, 25 cents, 25 cents. Okay. So I had 100 rupees. A friend of mine had given me a loan of 200 rupees. And then when I told Swami that I have brought only 300 rupees, so do one thing, Swami. Next month, when another 10 days for my salary, I'll give him 100 rupees. Then, he told me, Gopi, if I have to keep this man here, I'll have to spend more than 100 rupees. So I'll give you a loan of 100 rupees. Then I took this 100 rupees also from him. Went to Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati, who was in Somanati.
No.
I went there, gave the money to him, and he paid the money to Hippie and then took over that one.
Okay.
And when I took the voice of Nataraja Guru, Nataraja Guru said, well, this is got a true sound. And the specification of that one, this is in 1971. The specification of that one is as good as that of today.
Great.
60 to 10,000 cycles per hour.
Now we need to get some of these copied so that we can listen to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
And I think Narayana Guru must be having some of the recordings which I have taken.
Maybe. Well, great. Thanks for doing that. And you must have had a lot of dealings with John Spiers then.
Yes.
Did you have philosophical discussions?
John Spiers, Swami told this, I have to give 100 rupees. I mean, I have to spend more than that.
Right.
Then people will be having a feeling that, Swami John Spiers was very careful about money. Maybe that he may not entertain people,
Sure.
like, it's not so. Anybody can go to his ashram, stay as much as he pleases in life. But many Indians, when they are going, they will be taking some fruits. Malayalis will be taking the Malabar banana, which was rare at that time. Then he used to tell me, Gopi, when these people come, they bring me sweets and bananas and things like that. They think it's a delicacy. But what I want is rice, he says. What I want is rice. Because it was so difficult at that time. He has written an article about the Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati has written an article about conditions at that time in Kagaliya ashram. Difficult. People will be giving. He used to send various copies to everybody. None of them will be sending. At that time it was 6 rupees if I remember correct. None of them will be giving the subscriptions properly. He has to carry he has to type everything. He has to go to town, then get it printed, bring 1,000 copies. Right, I think it was 1,000 copies.
Wow.
And then he has to write the Kagali post office, which is about 4 kilometers away. And
So he did it all by himself.
All by himself. He has to carry water from a well with the bamboo and two.
I remember I hauled water for him.
And he has to carry water from there.
Yeah.
He used to carry, at that time, and before people began talking about water conservation and things like that in India, he will allow the rain to come, and then 2-3 days rain means the roof will be clean. Then he collects that water and makes for tea. And that tea made out of rainwater, excellent. The best tea that I have taken is from his ashram. The best in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And anybody who goes there will be having his food. And it is so peaceful on the it's on the top of a small hill.
Yes.
Very small. And the most peaceful days I have spent there. And my wife, we both of us will be going there, and then we will be eating, and Swami take some rest. She will be going, and they will be closing the front and back door after lunch, and she used to just go to sleep. And he came home, then he takes his food Then I know he needs rest, so he will be given a bed. Once we found that, he went just maybe 1 minute. Then we moved through that room to get into the hall. Like a small child opening its mouth. He was asleep. Only a person with a good heart can go to sleep just like that. And everything he used to do himself. And the only thing is, he used to say, modern gadgets, he had only 4 things for him. One was an old cycle for carrying on. Another was a pump, 1 or 2 pumping stoves. Then another typewriter, apparatus. He never used to have electricity. He used to pump the petromax and then write, type, everything under that. And such an affectionate person. Once I don't write to him, in a month or he used to say.
Yeah, we're back.
Then, dear Gopi, just as Chinese say, long time no see. Then I go next week to Guru.
I always thought he was kind of a abrupt, not very friendly person, but you sound like he's actually a very sweet person.
Very sweet person. Very sweet person. But he was, very, very, he cannot stand nonsense. Guru also could not. Nataraja Guru also could not stand nonsense. He used to immediately fire people. Natraja Guru has such a terrific affection for me. Blessings for me. I used to talk nonsense. One day, I was in Bangalore. Then somebody said that in one hotel, Natraja Guru is coming. Then we went there. I went there along with my one relative and a friend, whom I did not, when I was about 12, I met him in a boat journey. Then, I did not meet him except that we were writing often. So that man also had come to see me when he knew that I was in Bangalore. First time seeing after the span of maybe 20 years. We went to the hotel. So Guru had his eye operation. So he had put one black lens cover. Black cloth or paper something. It was a hotel, Kit Kat. That is the beginning of the modern hotels. So that was there. Light was not there. So we looked through that one and said, Gopi. Oh, I was so happy. In front of my friends, Guru, such a great man, traveled all over the world. He recognizes me and called me Gopi. I was so happy. Then afterwards, some talk came about poverty and things like that. And I said, as a great, my foolishness, as a great intellectual, I told him, see, all these things are because of the overpopulation. He immediately fired me. These are all the stories that have been taught by Chandrasekhar, was the minister. He has been collecting money from Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation and things like that. American and European women, they do not want to conceive. And most of them are barren. And they don't like this Afro-Asian people to be having more children. That balance will be. That is why they are spending money in India and removing the uterus of all the women folk in India. You can imagine, in front of the other fellows, I was gloating as though I am his most favorite disciple, and my fuse is gone.
Yeah, that's what a guru is for.
Yes,
Of course.
and that Guru John Spiers ashram, once you are going, anybody can get his food. But some people used to take advantage, especially this American hippie type of people will be going around. They may have money, but if you can get free food plus free Vedanta,
Yeah.
who will not like to be there?
Yeah.
So, such people, used to sponge on him. Once you are not having enough sambar, pour water, so that sambar will be stretched, like that.
Yeah.
And Nataraja Guru had an accident, scooter accident. The previous night I was going on hearing his records of Nataraja Guru. Night until about 12 o'clock, unusually. Then I had a feeling in the morning that there's a dream-like thing, a sixth sense or something like that telling. I mean, that I was using a walking stick and getting into my aunt's house. When I got up, took the scooter, I had a seminar in Madras. I went to collect the ticket, came back. One man ran across and I fell down and broke. This became 3 pieces.
Oh.
Yeah. And one man wrapped it, very highly qualified man. I had a feeling again that it's not right, it is not right, it is not right. Then I told our local doctor, ITA doctor, that I am feeling like that. No, you must have checked it up. It is not, sir. Why don't you check up again? I have got a feeling. Oh, something like Mahatma Gandhi's inner voice. I said something like that. When you check up, you are right, Glory. It's not right. Then I was taken to another specialist who was, I don't say notorious, he was such a great man. Famous for his short temper. He saw all the thing and then said, this has come out. So the leg, you have to be screwed, that point has to be screwed. He's told that once you are walking, your whole body weight will be coming there and first it may, it has to be, you have to be lying down on the X-ray, but then you have to take an X-ray, fix it and take an X-ray, then wrap it and take an X-ray, and there can be involuntary motions in between for within 6 weeks. Again, then I said, you can do it. Why are you worried? You are having this, are you worried about a foreign body in your system? Not that. You can do it again. Somehow I was allergic to. I mean, basically mentally allergic to have a foreign body.
Sure.
That once your teeth is filled, it's a foreign body. You can do it, sir. How do you say that? Then I said, I have got the greatest blessings of God, gurus and elders. You can do it. Then next day, a common friend of ours, he took me. Where I was sitting, the tire blasted. And then we were late by about 5 minutes. Replacing of the tire. He was a person who will not meet anybody if he is 1 minute late. What happened? Then I said, sir, there was a tire blast, like a bad omen. I said, it will be all right, sir. Because anything that starts with a wrong note ends very well. Natraja Guru wrote to me after that. These are all some aberrations in the normal things. You don't worry about it. You will be able to
walk and everything will become as it was. Now I'm walking without a Guru or anything.
Great. I think we should stop there. It's a very good